Let me begin with a stark reality. We reshaped our planet to an unimaginary scale. We wiped out 99.9% of the species we once shared this planet with. 70% of primary forest, ecosystems that took millions of years to form, gone in one single generation. We're using 50% of the planet, of our habitable land, just for agriculture. 80% of fresh water goes to feed ourselves. This is both devastating and honestly amazing. We have empowered our own species through that to get to 8 billion people. And despite my dream that we're all one with Mother Earth, the reality is that the want of humanity and the needs of the planet are not always aligned. But here's the thing. I don't think this is a story of doom. I think it's actually a very interesting moment of choice. Because at the same time, this planet, our planet, is a planet of abundance. And not just natural abundance, what I've just shared. Trees, forest, lake, fish, we still have some of those left, yeah. But also elemental abundance, the basic of life, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, those building blocks that are so rich in this planet. And then we have this, our brain, our human ingenuity, which is limitless, which is where any change begins. So today I want to tell you a story about how a possible future of our food system will shape out. For generations, we thought that the equation was extremely simple. Food, land. More food, more land. The Green Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, they are all stories, incredible stories of expansion. Are you looking for more wheat? Of course, we got more land. Are you looking for more proteins? Of course, we got more cows. Are you looking for more fat? Absolutely, we got more palm. And that system worked perfectly. Honestly, it was great because it was designed by and for a world of a few 100 million people. Now things look a little bit different. And so what is happening right now is that we are borrowing from a future, taking more and at a faster pace than nature itself can restore. But I told you this is not a story of doom, and I promise it's not. Because I think what's happening right now, it's also something extremely exciting. Because for the first time right now, a concept is getting introduced to us, and that is the concept of decoupling. Decoupling food production from land itself, producing food without requiring agricultural footprint at all. For the first time in history, for the first time, humans have been able to figure out how to produce food at an industrial scale without needing industrial scales of land. And this is what decoupling looks like. Let me be practical on something that everybody knows. Let's talk about palm oil. I'm sure you heard about that. And the reason is that it's in 50% of the consumer goods that you find on a supermarket. So every time you buy something, probably 1 in 2 products actually contain it. And there is a reason for that. It's in your cookie, it's in your bread, it's in your chocolate, it's in your face cream. Because it's a very, very efficient crop that produces an incredibly versatile ingredient, so it can go everywhere. And we scaled it, and it was prone to scale in a way that actually got cost down dramatically. So now it's extremely affordable. But to meet that demand, we had to produce more. And so what happened is that we shaped entire economies around that. Think about Indonesia and Malaysia. Those 2 countries by themselves produce 80% of the palm oil we consume in the world. We cut down biodiversity. We cut down forest at a pace that was unimaginable. But also, what we did is that we created local wealth, local job opportunities. We empowered social mobility in a way that was unprecedented. So it's not black or white. It's actually pretty complicated. We made incredible progress with regenerative agricultural practices in those areas, which means that we're actually trying to do more about nourishing the soil, more about nourishing the communities, and not just maximizing yield. And this helped. This is helping immensely. But the challenge is palm oil demand by 2050, so in 25 years from now, is supposed to grow by 50%. We just don't have the land. We can turn this around as much as we want. We don't have the land. So for me, this is where this is getting exciting. What I'm holding into my hands right now is a palm oil equivalent that doesn't contain any palm. It actually never touched a palm tree. No deforestation, no biodiversity loss, no plantations at all. This is fat. These are like real fat molecules that are crafted from scratch, starting from a very abundant material on this planet, which is called carbon. That was captured from carbon dioxide and methane, the same greenhouse gases that are actually driving climate change itself. And actually, it is pretty good. So for the past 4 years, I worked alongside an incredible group of humans to build this, to upcycle abundant carbon, something that we have plenty of, in something that is more scarce, like nutrition, like a palm oil equivalent. Of course, fatty acids, the building blocks of any kind of fat and oil, palm oil, coconut oil, cocoa butter, they're all made primarily of carbon, but also they have some oxygen and hydrogen. So we take also those that were very abundant on the planet, and we build those molecules. And at that point, this is what decoupling looks like. You basically have an ingredient that is equivalent when it comes to sensorial aspects and properties, but don't come from the land at all. Now, what does it mean in practice? Let me give you an example. One of your favorite food companies is placing an order, a purchase order for palm oil. A portion of it is now fulfilled by smallholder farmers that are very much focused on stewarding the land, nourishing the soil, nourishing the community, and not prioritizing yield at all cost. They're doing what they can within the natural boundaries. The rest, what they cannot get, is covered by a non-agricultural complement, something that behaves exactly the same, that has the same molecules, but doesn't come from the land, actually upcycle carbon that is right now part of the reason why we're having climate change in the first place. This is what abundance looks like. This is what decoupling looks like. Now, I know some of you might think this is great, but will people even do it? This sounds very different. Where companies, leaders, change makers, thought leaders, decision makers think that they want to buy into this complementarity, in this concept that agriculture could actually live with something that is decoupled from land to actually give everybody a break. And I think these are right questions. I think every innovation, even the best one, is absolutely meant nothing if they don't get out into the world and get adopted. So what I've learned so far is that we don't have to convince everybody to care about this planet, because we will fail. We'll never get to a point where everybody cares. But we can invite everybody into something beautiful, because everybody likes beauty. Because I'm not working on this out of fear or guilt. I'm working on regeneration because there is nothing better than that. This is simply too irresistible. Creating abundance feels so much better than managing scarcity. Holding solutions like these ones in my hand, feeding it my kids, giving it to the best companies, the biggest companies in the world, to actually alleviate the pressure on farmers, is one of the coolest feelings I've ever had. Right now, hundreds of millions of people are working on this. Hundreds of millions of people are deciding and choosing to consume sustainable food, food that is made with regeneration in mind. And this is not enough. We need this number to double, 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 and double again. I grew up in a farming family. I was the first one to complete university, the first one to leave the village. I could have done so many jobs that were just being considered success from everybody. And I decided to do that because this is what feels right. This is what feels important. This is what impact feels like, but also this is what beauty, regeneration, and richness feels like. So let's go back. We started with some very bad numbers. 99.9% of the species lost, 70% of primary forests gone, 50% of land, 80% of fresh water. Those numbers have felt so heavy for most of my life. They were just like a badge of failure. We haven't made it. And partially, honestly, that is true. We made a bunch of mistakes. But also, those numbers tell us something, which is size and scale. If we had been able to feed 8 billion people only, and I'm saying only, using 50% of our planet, now imagine what we can do once we can decouple some of that nutrition from land itself, when we can alleviate the pressure. Because working with nature means that doesn't mean fighting farmers. It means giving them space to do what they know best. So the future of food is about complementarity. It's about richness, regeneration, and beauty. And us, human, for us, our future is to practice leadership. Leadership, leadership, and leadership again at a planetary scale. Thank you.